Hello, yogis. Hello, Grand Park community. It's Courtney. Welcome to your Yoga Allah retreat. And today for practice, I'd like us to keep it really soft and really slow. And I know sometimes we might have a reaction to that, to be like, no, I showed up here to breathe and sweat and move. And that is all a beautiful part of the practice, but this is also a really nourishing part of the practice. I find when I make moments to get still, when I find moments to be soft with myself, I can better connect with my own true nature, with a sense of peace, with a sense of grounding, so I can go out into the world a little more centered and stable. So welcome, let's try it. Let's find a seat. So if you have a blanket, that would be a really good thing to have for practice today. Blankets can pad the knees. Blankets can give us a little elevation so that our hips are above the knees so that the feet don't fall asleep. We can cover ourselves if we get cold. If you don't have a blanket, you could grab a towel. Or if you don't think you need anything, then just come to a seat. And you can do this part of the practice in a chair or on your bed, on your couch, on the floor. The most important thing is that you find a way that you can be comfortable and still in your body. So we will move today, but the motions will be more gentle. I'm going to keep reminding us of the breath. We're going to do some things to still the mind, hopefully, and we'll just see what happens. So let's soften the eyes closed. So almost like you were about to fall asleep. So not forcing the eyes shut, just allowing the eyes to soften. Allowing wherever you're sitting to be an anchor for you. Allow whatever is touching earth or the chair or the couch or the bed to really touch down. And then see if you can find a little lift of your heart. So a little energetic lift so that you're sitting in an intentional seat. So you're not kind of slumped over. See if you can allow energy to move into your body by rising your heart here. And then any position of the hands, you can rest the hands up, you can have the hands down. And before we do anything, let's just check in. So maybe first just noticing your breath. Maybe noticing how you're breathing, where the breath is moving in, the quality of the breath. Maybe allowing that to give you some information into how you're doing. And then let's all ask ourselves that. How are you doing? So not shying away from it, just being with it, being in it. Maybe allowing some feeling to flutter up in the heart. Maybe allowing some truth to reside in the heart. And just taking a couple breaths of acknowledgement into whatever is there. So just honoring it, meeting it, being with it. Noticing your physical body in space. So how is the body right now? Maybe scanning yourself for tension, for some fluttering, for openness, for tightness, just kind of knowing the body today. Checking in with your mind. So how is the mind? Where is the mind? Is the mind busy? Does the mind feel lethargic? Are you in a thought pattern? Are you in a past thought? A future thought? And maybe you can just identify the thoughts as thoughts. So we have so many thoughts in a day. And I find the less thoughts I run away with, the more I'm in the moment. So maybe if it's possible to choose to be here for our practice together. And then I'm going to ask us all to place the hands over the heart, maybe even feeling into the beat of your own heart here. And I'll just ask you, why did you show up today? What are you here to learn, to remember, to cultivate, to let go of? And if anything is coming up, just trusting it, honoring it. And I'll offer an opportunity to set an intention to support why you're here. So a lot of you have been practicing for a lot of this time in our quarantine. I'm really proud of a lot of you for your willingness to keep showing up. So what is it about the practice that makes you do that? Why are you here? And then if there is any intention, like a word, a phrase, to keep reminding you, to keep centering you here, go ahead and bring that into your heart. If your eyes are still closed, flutter them open. And let's just get into the neck a little bit here. So bowing your chin into your chest. And then allowing the left ear to come to the left shoulder, allowing the right shoulder to rest down. Either softening the eyes closed or taking a steady gaze at one point. Just taking a few full breaths into your right side of your neck. And if it's helpful, as you connect to your breath, it might be nice to think about bringing energy into any tightness on your inhale. And maybe if there's any room to let go of anything, let it go on your exhale. A couple more deep inhales. Letting go on your exhale. Bringing in an inhale, letting go of an exhale. From here, chin goes back into the chest. Option to stay here, or if you want to add a little bit of pressure, you could interlace your hands and put gentle pressure on the back of your head, keeping the shoulders rolling down, keeping the breath moving through. Maybe sending some breaths to the upper shoulders, the back of the neck. Letting that go. Right ear goes to right shoulder. So breathing into the left side of the neck here. Option to soften the eyes closed or just take a gaze at a single point. Maybe re-engaging with your breath if that's helpful. So calling in energy on your inhale, awareness to the tightness. As you exhale, release anything that you can afford to let go of, to let go. Bringing in a full inhale. Bringing out a full exhale. Let's take one more big inhale into the left side of the neck. Big exhale to release. Let your chin fall into your chest. Rise your chin and let's just open the throat here. So just a little gaze up. opening in the throat, maybe a little softening open of the heart. It's totally normal to feel a little vulnerable here. We're safe though, so maybe sending some breaths across your chest, sending your shoulders back and down. And then allowing your chin to stack as it usually does. We're gonna add a little bit of weight onto our next stretch here. So you can stay with that kind of moving your head side to side thing. If that is enough pressure and stretch for you, please stay with that. If you wanna add a little bit more, interlace your hands to the base of your spine, tuck your interlace into your left hip, and then left ear goes to left shoulder again. So just adding maybe a little bit more, sending your right shoulder away from your ear. If that's too much, you can just rest the hands in the lap. Remember taking those full inhales and really taking those nice, long, full exhales. From here, on your inhale, take your interlace back, puff up the chest, maybe lift up in your heart, and then we'll take the interlace over to the right hip. The right ear goes to the right shoulder. The left shoulder reaches away from your ear, and then just see what this side is like. So maybe this side, it's not a good idea to have the interlace. Maybe you just rest the hands in the lap. Maybe really start to connect with your breath if you haven't yet, bringing in energy on the inhale, releasing something on the exhale. From here, coming back to center, we'll tap the right hand down next to the right hip, and then we're just gonna reach up and over to the left. To the right, sorry. So just kind of getting into the side body, not really worrying what it looks like, just feeling into your side body here. You can look up, you can look down. Keep your shoulders away from your ears. Coming back up, switching to the other side. So we'll take that left hand down, right arm reaches up and over. Keep your right hip resting down. Maybe find a little lift of your heart. Coming back to center, let's take the fingertips to the shoulder tips, and then we'll roll out the shoulders. So just getting some warmth, some movement in the shoulders. You can take really small circles, you can take nice big circles, whatever feels good in your shoulders. So listening, breathing, and then switching the direction. So elbows go back and around and down. Taking your hands in a little interlace, we're just gonna roll out the wrists a little bit. So making kind of little S's with your wrists. You can move slower than I am if it feels good to move more quickly. We're just kind of creating warmth and mobility in the wrists. Place your right hand out, stop, like you're stopping in the name of love. Take your left fingertips and just find maybe a gentle opening for the palm. If it's enough just to have your right hand out, you're welcome to do that. Take a couple breaths. The left fingertips pulling back will stretch open the forearm as well. Keep your shoulders rolling down away from your ears. And then let your hands come down. We'll take the left palm out like a stop. And then maybe we stay here, or if you want to add a little bit more stretch, taking your right fingertips to gently pull back. The left fingertips, breathing into the forearm, settling the shoulders down. This also takes a little arm strength to keep the arms up. Keep the breath moving through. Releasing out of that. And then if you are seated on the earth and you want to take the opposite cross of your legs, please do that. If you're seated in a chair, I meant to mention, make sure to have your feet resting down. So that's just energetically grounding you to the earth. So from here, we're going to take a twist. Right hand goes outside the left thigh. You can do this if you're up in a chair as well. And then the left hand comes down. If you're on a chair, you could take it on like the arm of the chair. If you're seated on the earth, you can place the left hand to the base of the spine or maybe out away from you if that feels more comfortable. And then really root down into your sit bones, so the things that are touching down, and then grow your heart up here. So find length in your spine. And then we're still pretty early in the practice, so not the most forceful twist, but maybe a little gentle pressure of your right hand against your left thigh. Maybe sending your gaze back slightly, but do it from a place of length. Do it from a place of breath. So I like to find lots of length on my inhale. And then as I exhale, I see if there's more room for the twist. Take a big inhale. Commit and honor the twist. Inhale, lengthen. This time we'll exhale to release. So we'll switch to the other side now. Left hand comes to the right thigh, and then maybe you take that left hand back, the right hand back to the base of the spine. Maybe you place it on the arm of the chair. Shoulders come down, lots of length in your heart, shoulders melting, heart lifting. Sit bones grounding down. And then from that anchor, from the length, start to send your heart any amount to the right. You can put a little gentle pressure of your left hand to your right thigh. And then inhale, we lengthen. Exhale, we experience the twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale to release. Let's find our way onto hands and knees. So this would be a good place if you have your blanket or your towel to have a little support for your knees. So my knees are really sensitive on the hard floor. I would imagine other people's are as well. So from here, we're gonna tuck the toes today. We're gonna stack the wrists underneath the shoulders, scoop your belly up into your spine, spread your fingers nice and wide. And then we'll just take a couple breaths here into the feet. So notice if something else tightened up when we came into the stretch. Sometimes through noticing we're tightening, we can soften. So I would like you to be really honest with yourself here. So if this feels like a lot of stretch for the feet, please stay. If you'd like to explore if there's any more, you can start to walk your hands back, maybe sitting on your heels. If that is too much, you come forward to your hands and distribute the weight into your hands. So finding your way to open in the feet here, finding your way to your breath. Really finding those long inhales and those long exhales. And then the next time you inhale, if you're back on your heels, walk yourself out. Let's release the tops of the feet. We'll come into several rounds of cat-cow, so connecting breath with movement. So letting the entire breath take up the entire space of the movement. So before we come into it, notice if you're kind of dumping in your shoulders, press into your knuckles and lift up. So this is like an active tricep work. So we're pressing up, the inner arms are hugging in slightly, the belly scooping back into the spine. As you inhale, let your belly drop, let your heart rise up. As you exhale, curl in your spine, the nose comes in towards the belly button, release your head. As you inhale, belly drops, heart rises. As you exhale, curl everything up and in. A few more rounds. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curl everything up and in. Inhale, belly drops, heart rises. Exhale, curl everything up and in. From here, find your neutral spine, and we're just gonna find kind of whatever movement feels good in our spine. So I like to pretend like I have a pencil on the base of my tailbone and just move in circles. Maybe you want to wag your tail side to side, just kind of getting into the side body. So just feel into your spine, keep pressing into your knuckles. Maybe let your head come into the movement as well. So not really worrying about what it looks like, just feeling into your body. And then switching the direction. So if you were tick-tocking one way, moving in the opposite way. If you're circling, allowing your circle to move in the other direction. Finding your way back to a neutral spine. We're going to stretch the wrists out one more time here. We'll listen. So option one is to take your hands out to the side. So that will be a little bit more gentle of a stretch, and we really want to honor what the wrists are doing because we use the wrists, we type and text and do all the things with our hands. So option one is that, and if you feel a good amount of stretch there, please stay there. Option two would be to take your fingertips towards your knees and then maybe start to put any amount of pressure into the palms. If the forearms don't like that, if the wrists don't like that, there is no need to do that. So you could take your fingertips out to the side. Whatever you choose, choose something where you can really breathe with it. And especially exhale something out. So we don't really get a stretch or do anything if we're holding breath. We release when we're able to expel and exhale. So find a way where you can take some really full exhales. Take one more full breath wherever you are. Allow your fingertips to face forward. We're going to get into the shoulders a little bit here, gentle and soft. So the right arm is going to thread out, and then the right arm is going to thread under, and you're going to tap your cheek or your temple to the earth. So this is just a nice way to get into the upper right shoulder. You can have your left hand down underneath your shoulder. You could also take the left hand up and overhead. Maybe soften your eyes closed, send some breath, some energy to your upper right shoulder. If your left hand is up and overhead, slide it back down underneath your left shoulder. Press into your left hand, replace your right hand underneath right shoulder, and we'll switch to the other side. So left arm threads out, left arm threads under, left cheek or temple taps down. The right hand can stay underneath the right shoulder. You could also take the right hand up and overhead if that creates more space and breath. Excuse me. Sending your breath and your energy to your upper left shoulder. Maybe releasing something out on your exhale. If your right hand is up and overhead, slide it back down underneath your right shoulder. Press into your right hand, come on back up. And then we're gonna make our way back to a comfortable seat. So if sitting on a chair is more comfortable for you, we just kind of moved the body a little bit so we can get a little more still. So I've heard a lot that the physical practice was created in yoga much later to find a way for us to be still in meditation and breath. So maybe softening your eyes closed here. We're gonna come into some breath work here, some pranayama, breath restraint. What we're gonna do to start is to really lengthen our exhales. So we're gonna do a 4-count inhale. We'll take a little pause, and then we're gonna exhale for a count of 6 breaths. So we're really gonna slow down the breath and especially focus on the exhale. So either softening the eyes closed or taking a gaze at a single point. Let your next exhale come all the way out of the body. As you inhale, draw in a breath for 2, 3, 4. Take a little pause of your breath. And then as you exhale, breathe out for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold the breath out. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Pause your breath. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold out. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold breath. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold out. One more time. Inhale, 2, 3, 4. Hold breath. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hold out. And then just allowing the breath to come back in, maybe noticing any benefits to a pranayama practice, breath work. From here, if you need to switch the cross of the legs or do anything to make yourself more stable, please do that. We're gonna come into a pranayama, another breath work. So for this one, we're gonna come into what's called an anchored breath. So I'm gonna recommend we anchor the breath in the belly. If it helps you, you could rest your hands on the belly. If you don't need that kind of physical reminder, you can just center your awareness on your belly. And we breathe through the lungs, right, in the back, but we're gonna expand the entire middle section out like we were expanding a big balloon out. The diaphragm moves up and presses down, expanding out. So let your exhale come all the way out. As you inhale, anchor the breath in the belly for 2, 3, 4, pause breath, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold out, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause your breath, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold out, 2, 3, 4. One more time, inhale, 2, 3, 4, pause your breath, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, hold out, 2, 3, 4, and then allowing the breath to come back in naturally. If you want to rest your hands back down on your thighs, maybe noticing how the breath wants to move back in. And then from here, I'm gonna stay up, but I'm gonna invite you, if you feel comfortable, to lie down on your back. So for this last pranayama, we're gonna do it on the back. If you would like to stay seated, of course, you're welcome to do that. Everything I say is a suggestion. But I want us to give ourselves permission to fully rest. So where we're headed, we're gonna do one more breath, and then we're gonna do a nice long guided meditation to really release tension in the body. So if you want to stay seated, you may. You might feel a little bit more relaxed if you find a way to lie comfortably. So whatever you choose, commit to it. Of course, you can move if you get uncomfortable, but see if you can find a way that you can be still in your body. Give yourself permission to be still. Give yourself permission to soften, to let whatever is touching the back body or your sit bones to be there to support you. Allowing the eyes to either soften, close, or find a gaze point on the floor if you're seated. And then for this last pranayama technique, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take an inhale, exhale through the nose, and I'm gonna count us through 10 rounds. So this is called counting breaths. It's a really lovely thing to do when the mind is in a pattern that we want to get the mind out of. It allows us to steady the mind on counting as we allow the body to breathe and relax. So I'm gonna count us through as our guide. You could also do this for yourself. You know, you could lie on your bed and just inhale, exhale 1, inhale, exhale 2, etc. So allow your breath to come all the way out of your body. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale 1. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale 2. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale 3. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale 4. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale 5. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale 6. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale 7. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale 8. Through through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale, 9. Through your nose, inhale. Through your nose, exhale, 10. And then just allowing the breath to come back in as it wants. We're about to come into a guided meditation. So if you need to do anything to be more comfortable, you're welcome to cover yourself with a blanket, add a pillow. And for those of you who are new to guided meditation, you'll just stay as you are on your back or seated. And I'm just going to talk us through and call out different parts of the body. We'll just notice those areas. Maybe notice if there's some energetic gripping or holding. And then if there is any room to soften, we'll allow the body to soften in that area. So allow your exhale to move all the way out. Allow a full inhale to move all the way in. Allow a full exhale to move all the way out. And then just allow the body once again to breathe. So we'll start by drawing some awareness to the feet. So notice if there's any gripping or holding in your toes, in your heels, maybe in the tops of the feet or the ankles. And if you do notice any tension or holding, maybe through some awareness you may soften. Drawing awareness up to your shins, the backs of your calves, softening across your knee joints and your thighs, allowing the backs of the thighs to ground down and rest. Drawing awareness across your hips and your low back, allowing the belly to be soft and release, allowing the middle and the upper back to release. If you're lying down, really feel those parts of you connecting to the earth. Shoulders come away from the ears. Arms are heavy at the sides, so elbow joints release. Forearms and wrists. The hands soften open, allowing each one of your fingers to release. Coming back up to the space of your heart, maybe allowing that area to soften, to let any emotions be present. Maybe even take a couple breaths into whatever you're feeling in your heart. Really being with your heart. Allowing your awareness to come up to your neck and your throat. Softening across the jaw. Allowing your tongue to be heavy in the mouth. The cheeks to be heavy and soft. Allowing the breath to move in and out of the nose as you allow sound to come in and out of your ears. If the eyes aren't closed, I'd really recommend giving your eyes a space to rest, allowing your eyelids to be heavy. Maybe even imagine the eyelashes weighted. Allowing the space between your eyebrows to soften, the entire forehead to soften, top of the head and the hair softens. And here, maybe scan yourself one more time for any area that needs a little extra attention, a little extra awareness. Allowing something to go, allowing the entire body to be both still and soft From here, we'll come into 1 minute of Shavasana, so final rest, allowing yourself the space to be here in what you've created in your body, your spirit, and your mind. Starting to bring your awareness back to your breath. Maybe allowing that first inhale to be an invitation into this new moment. Allowing your exhales a full release. Feeling into your body in any way, so maybe moving gently into your fingers and your toes, maybe taking some little wiggles or any stretches that would feel good in your body. Eventually rolling over to your right side, making a little pillow for your head with your inner arm. Feeling your connection to the earth as you press yourself up. Resting the hands in a gesture of prayer at the heart, bowing the chin into the wisdom of the heart. May I be at peace. May my heart remain open. May I know the beauty of my own true nature. May I be healed, and may I be a source of healing for this world. I wish that for all of you. Please, if you can afford it, share this practice, this stillness, this sense of grounding with whoever you come into contact with. If you need it for yourself, keep it for yourself, but maybe share this feeling of yoga, of union. I'm so glad you were here to practice with us. Thank you, Grand Park, for hosting us so that we can continue to be together in community. I'm wishing you all well, and I'll see you again real soon.